buttermilk crispy chicken? Let's find out.
It's probably the best sandwich I've ever had.
It's super crispy, but it's also really juicy.
So would you guys come back? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, here's our car. The location is on the back. It's McDonald's. What? What?
Oh, get out
No way.
Wait, seriously?
Try some buttermilk crispy chicken. It's right around the corner at McDonald's. Buttermilk.
Welcome back to Ask the Coach. Joe Myers and Jeff Garman discussing last night's 32-28 loss to the Monroe County Falcons over at Hank Roy Stadium. It was the first time the Scotties had been home since August 21st, so it will certainly be nice to be back there in the friendly confines there at Glasgow High School on Scotty Field. And let's take a look at the drive chart from the game last night. Monroe County won the toss, elected to receive. They would wind up turning the football over on a fumble. Josiah Moore would recover that fumble, giving Glasgow the ball at their own 43-yard line, and Scotties would wind up having a punt. Each team would turn the football over on downs as well early in that first quarter. And then Monroe County, Jeff, with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, decides to go for it in their own territory on 4th and inches at the 21-yard line, and your defense came up with a huge stop, which led to your first score of the night.
It was a big play, and we were able to go and capitalize on that and get a score, and that's what you want to do after you get a turnover. And, the defense was flying around and playing hard and got a headgear on the ball and created a turnover, and the offense took it right down there and scored and gave us an early lead, and we started off pretty strong.
Yep, took 5 plays for Glasgow to score as they took over the 21-yard line of Monroe County. Minute 33 seconds off the clock. Desi Austin scores on a 10-yard run. The extra point was no good. Left Glasgow with a 6-0 lead with 2:41 to go in the first quarter. And Desi, as we said, he was under some pressure, took a few sacks last night, but he did have some good runs. That one in particular was a good 10-yard touchdown run to get you off on the right foot.
Yeah, it was, and there was some plays. He made some plays out there last night, and I was proud of how he performed, and I was proud how they all played. The offense and the defense. I wish we could have moved the ball a little bit better there in the second half, but that was a good Monroe County defense that we were going against, and they were very physical up inside, and we just wasn't able to capitalize on some things, especially the way they were covering us, but they had to make a concerted effort to stop Kyle. He was running the ball pretty good there early in the game up inside and had a big run, and they were able to pressure the quarterback, and that made a difference.
Then Monroe County took over at its own 35-yard line after the Glasgow score. Evan Riddle would wind up making his team-high 4th interception of the year for the Scotties, which set Glasgow up at the Monroe County 49-yard line. Glasgow, I think, had maybe a negative play, maybe a penalty as well. And, Jeff, you guys decided to fake a punt on about 4th down and 18 yards to go in your own territory. It did not work out. Monroe County would score off of that failed attempt at the fake punt. Kind of what was the thought process right there going forward on 4th and long inside your own territory?
Well, I thought maybe they might be trying to set up a return, and I thought that might be able to be there. As we were punting it, we got some good rolls on some punts. The first punt we made was a short punt, and I thought we might be able to get, hopefully get the first down, but at least get 15 or 20 yards. And if anything, that would kind of neutralize them of trying to put 2 guys back and trying to return a lot of kicks and stuff on us. And it was one of those plays. It was there on the when you want to fake a punt, you can't do it up there on the 50-yard line or on the 40 on the other side. They all kind of look for that. So I thought that was a way that we might be able to sneak one in there, especially in that situation where they were setting up a return, and we just come up a little bit short.
Severio Greer was stopped short, as Jeff said, on that fake punt, and that gave Monroe County the football back at the Glasgow 48-yard line. 8 plays later, they were in the end zone with a 1-yard touchdown run for Ty Mink. The kick was no good, left the score tied at 6-all with 9:21 to go in the first half. After a couple of punts by each team, or after one punt by each team, I should say, the Scotties would take over their own 32-yard line and put together a 6-play, 68-yard drive that went 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Jasper Mundy scores on a 41-yard touchdown run. The 2-point conversion was good by Desi Austin on a run. It gave Glasgow a 14-6 lead with 3:35 to go in the first half of play. Monroe County would answer right back with a 7-play, 64-yard drive on the ensuing possession, 2 minutes and 52 seconds off the clock. Ty Mink scores on an 11-yard run here. The 2-point conversion was no good, left Glasgow with a 14-12 lead with 46 seconds to go. I know you give up the touchdown, but the defense did a good job to stop the 2-point conversion, left you with a 2-point halftime lead, Jeff.
Yeah, and we were in pretty good shape right there, getting the ball to start the second half, and those extra points and 2-point plays kind of went back and forth for both teams. We both kind of struggled with it as the night went on, I was proud of our effort there in the first half. Thought our kids played really hard and played pretty well, and I thought we kind of controlled that whole first half, to be honest with you.
Glasgow comes out and starts the third quarter exactly how you would want. They take the opening kickoff at their own 41-yard line and march 59 yards in 12 plays. It took 4 minutes and 6 seconds, and Silverio Greer would get his first touchdown of the season. Made a really nice diving catch in the end zone on what wound up being 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. You guys go to the air after failing to get it in on the ground the first couple of times. You go to the air there on 4th and goal at the 1. Silverio makes the catch on the pass from Desi. The 2-point conversion was no good. Glasgow led 20-12 with 7:54 to go in the third quarter. Silverio had to lay out for that one, Jeff, and he made the play.
Yeah, and that was nice to see down there in the red zone, and we were able to convert. We tried to run it up inside a couple times and didn't get anything, and give Monroe County credit. And Desi made a good throw, and Silverio made a good catch.
Monroe County would come right back though once again and answer with just a 1-play, 65-yard drive. It was a touchdown pass from Lincoln Arnett to Kel Rich, longest play of the night for the Falcons. The 2-point conversion was no good. Glasgow led 20-18 with 7:37 to go in the third quarter. Excuse me. And just an instance there where Evan Riddle thought he was going to be able to intercept that pass. Jeff, I don't know if he kind of mistimed his jump or what, but whatever the case may be, the ball wound up going over Evan's hands, right into the hands of Kel Rich, and there was nobody back there to help Evan. He was one-on-one, and when Rich made the catch, it was a 65-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, and that, is a good catch and a good throw, and Evans played pretty solid for us all year long, and it did look like he kind of jumped for the ball and mistimed his jump, and it went over his head, and it was a big play in the ball game. But Evans played well all year long. Playing defensive back, you kind of got to have a short memory sometimes, and Evan had played pretty solid. He's played solid all year long. And, that's just part of it.
I'd say he's been one of the big surprises of the year for you, Jeff. He's got 4 interceptions to lead the team on the year.
Well, you call it a surprise. I call it out there in practice. He works hard every day, and he was just waiting for an opportunity to get in there and play. And he got an opportunity. He made the most of it.
I certainly don't mean that in a negative way. He's played very well.
I know what you mean, and he wasn't penciled in at the beginning of the year as someone that was going to play a whole lot. He earned his way out there on the field, and we made some adjustments on the defense. And when we moved Karam from corner into an outside like safety or a linebacker, it opened the opportunity for Evan to play, and he's played really well this year.
And then after a few punts in the game, Monroe County would take over at their own 18-yard line with 1:50 to go in the third quarter, and Gavin Bird would come up with the first safety of the year for the Scotties as he got a sack of Lincoln Arnett in the end zone, give Glasgow a 22-18 lead after that safety with 1:42 to play in the third period. And then Scotties got good field position after getting the ball back on the safety, took over at their own 45-yard line, but wound up having to punt. That gave Monroe County the football back at its own 21. Falcons drive 79 yards in 12 plays. It took 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Gage Nelson catches a 2-yard touchdown pass from Ty Mink out of the Wildcat formation. The extra point good for Brian White, and Monroe County had its first lead at 25-22 with 6:39 to go in the game. And memory serves me correctly, Jeff, that was on a 4th down play as well. It was 4th and goal, I think, from the 2, and they had been running Mink out of the Wildcat formation, and they had the huge Nelson kid just line up as an eligible receiver. got his way into the end zone, and Mink just went up for a jump pass and threw it over the top of the defense right into his hands in the end zone.
Yeah, he was playing like he was a tight end playing like a tackle position on that, and my memory serves me correct. It was 4th and 3, and we had put a goal line stand together down there, and they did a nice little like jump pass and dumped it over our heads to him in the back of the end zone. It was a good play. Monroe County executed well, but our kids was continue to fight. We didn't lay down not 1 minute on that field. Every touchdown they scored, maybe besides the big long pass, was something that they really had to earn.
Scotties did get the football back down by 3 with 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Would have to punt about a minute and a half later. Monroe County had the chance to take the football down into the end zone and put the game away, but they decided to go to the air on 3rd down, and Josiah Moore made them pay for that decision as Josiah stepped in front of a pass at the 50-yard line, took it back to the end zone for a pick 6, and that put Glasgow up by a score of 28-25 after the extra point was no good. So with just a little under 4 minutes to go, Jeff, you guys are up by 3 after a really nice play there by your junior linebacker.
Josiah, he dropped one earlier in the game, had an opportunity for an interception, and he just played that so well and caught the ball. And my goodness, he showed his speed as he caught it and took off going. I mean, he was like a shot of lightning running down that sideline. And it was, again, just the perseverance that our defense showed. We didn't give up. We didn't lay down. We knew we had some timeouts in our back pocket, and I kept telling the kids, if we just keep playing, we're going to get the ball back. And Monroe County decided to throw the football in that situation instead of running the clock, and Josiah made them pay.
But then Monroe County gets the football back at its own 38-yard line and puts together the game-winning drive with a 9-play, 62-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It was all Ty Mink out of the Wildcat. I think he did hand it off one time, but other than that, the other 8 plays on the drive were all Ty Mink running out of that Wildcat formation. He would wind up scoring on a 3-yard run. The extra point was good by Brian White, gave Monroe County a 32-28 lead with 38 seconds to go. And then, Jeff, you guys, even with just 30 seconds to go after the kickoff, still gave yourself a chance. You get a big, long pass play of 41 yards to Ben Hughes down the left sideline. He stepped out of bounds just after he made the catch. He was being pressured by a defender who forced him out of bounds. But that gave you 2 chances from inside the 15-yard line to try to score with a little over 6 seconds to go. Just could not get either one of those plays into the end zone.
No, we couldn't, and when they say it's a game of inches, that's exactly what this game was. I mean, Ben barely stepped out of bounds on that play, and he, an inch, he goes in and scores, and we celebrate, and that's how close of a ball game this was tonight. And we just got to give Monroe County credit. Coach Pettit, he does an outstanding job, and they just made more plays in the end, and we got down there at the end and couldn't make a play.
We'll come back in just a moment and take a look at the final stats from last night's game. We're back after this on WCLU Sports.